You have started chapter 19 of Mesilat Yesharim, of the Path of the Just. And we're discussing Chassidut. What is Chassidut? So we know today there's a movement called Chassidim. So this has nothing to do with it. Two separate issues. And here we have, this is true piety. What is piety? That's the question. A Chassid literally means a pious person. And here we're discussing true piety. What is piety? So anyone can come along and call themselves a Chassid. But to actually be a Chassid, that is something totally different completely. So hopefully a Chassid shall be a Chassid. But a true Chassid is a person who follows the ways of this chapter. This chapter is discussing Chassidut, real Chassidut, piety. And he says there are three parts to being pious. There are three parts to being pious. The first one is action. Okay, pious in action. The second one is how to do the action, how to perform the action. And the third one is intent. So three parts to being a Chassid. The first part is action. The second one is how to do the action. And the third one is the intent behind it. So now let's discuss the first part. Helek HaRishon. The first part is action. And even action itself has two parts to it. Because there are two kinds of actions. One action is between man and man. And one action is between man and God. Okay, so let's just recap. We said there are three parts to piety. Number one is the action. Number two is how to do the action. And number three is the concentration behind the action. And then we said there are two actions. One action is the action between man and God. And the other action is the action between man and man. Thank you. Okay, so let's discuss. We start off by discussing the laws between man and God. Actions between man and God. Which means doing all the mitzvot, basically. Mitzvot between man and God. All mitzvot are between man and God. Even though there may be a mitzvah between man and man, it's also between man and God. Because the definition of a mitzvah is a command. Right? It's a command from God. So therefore, by definition, even mitzvot between man and man, for example, love your friend as yourself, is a mitzvah between man and man, but it's also a command. So therefore, it's between man and God as well. And therefore, a person who breaks a mitzvah from between man and man is really transgressing two things: man and man and God. Okay, so it's very important to note that there's man and there's man and God. And man includes two parts. And man and God only includes one. But we're going to start off by talking about man and God. Well, how does a person keep the mitzvah between man and God? By fulfilling the mitzvah with all the different intricacies, as far as a person can keep it. Okay? So as far as a person can keep it, he should fulfill the mitzvah. Let me give you a little example. For example, there's a mitzvah to wear tzitzit, right? What a man has to wear tzitzit on what? On what does he have to wear tzitzit? A four-cornered garment. But that only applies if I have a four-cornered garment. If I don't have a four-cornered garment, it doesn't apply. So now, do I have to buy a four-cornered garment? Or do I not have to buy a four-cornered garment? So that's exactly the case we're talking about. And here the rabbis talk about shiarei mitzvah. Shiarei mitzvah literally means leftovers of mitzvot. Leftovers of mitzvah. What does that mean? That means, technically, you're exempt. But if you want to survive and not be punished for anything, do it. In other words, when there's troubles in the world, the person gets paid back for not trying to do their best and do more mitzvot. Yes. That's what we're saying over here. We're in chapter 19. He quotes a Gemara in Sukkah. Shiarei mitzvah me'akvim et haporinun. Person doing the extra parts of the mitzvah stops punishment. The extra parts of the mitzvah stops punishment. Ki af al pi sheguf ha-mitzvah nishlam zulatam, even though technically the main part of the mitzvah is done without these extras, and a person already did the mitzvah, and that's what most people do. However, pious people, they should go the extra mile. And they should increase and complete and not leave anything untouched in terms of doing the mitzvah. Just do it to the best way, in the best way possible, with all the intricacies, all the best ways of doing it, all the hidurim. That's a chassid. That's one definition of a chassid, is they do the mitzvah to the best possible way, and there's nothing left unturned. And he doesn't say, you know what, there's a debate and I don't care. I'll do it anyways. No. I'm going to do it to the best possible way to fulfill all the strictures, all the intricacies of the mitzvah. And the second part is ben adam lechaviro, between man and God, man and man. And he says it's a very big part of goodness that a person in this world is always good to others and never bad to others. And that's in three parts as well: physically, financially, and spiritually. To be good to others physically, because I don't punch people, don't whack them, that's physically. Give someone a hug when they need a hug, that's physically. B'mamon, financially, help people. Person needs a loan, person needs a little bit of to tide them over, person needs tzedakah, that's financially. And thirdly is spiritually. How do you help someone spiritually? And the answer is you help the spiritual growth. The person wants to learn Torah, there's no one to teach him. So you teach him. Just helping someone's spiritual growth. Teaching a kid bar mitzvah, for example. My father was very good at that. And hopefully it helped the spiritual growth of the person. And he wouldn't take money for it. That was his mitzvah. He wanted to do the mitzvah. And so a person helping someone's spiritual growth is helping someone spiritually. And that's part of Chassidut. Physically, financially, and spiritually. Physically, financially, and spiritually. And now he goes into details. Physically, that a person should try and help as much as they can. If the person is carrying a burden, and the Torah talks about carrying burdens and helping someone with a burden, or on the donkey, or whatever it is, helping someone with a burden. So a person has a physical burden. You see someone carrying 2-3 shopping bags, and they need a hand, or if their trunk is full of shopping bags, and you need to go and give them a hand. That's called piety, physical piety. Helping someone do a mitzvah. Helping someone who needs help. And that's called, Pirkei Avot says, Noseh be'ol im chaviro. To help someone carry their burden. Literally carry their burden. Right? Noseh be'ol chaviro is to help someone carry their burden. So you see someone bringing in, we have people over here who volunteer to look after the kiddush. And they go shopping and they carry heavy stuff. They're not very strong. They don't look very strong. Probably are very strong, but they don't look very strong. So you see them come over to the shul, and you see them coming in with bags. What should you do? Say, excuse me, can I help you? Can I help you bring the bags in? So that is helping someone physically. And this applies at home. People don't realize. Mitzvah of Chesed applies at home as well. See your wife struggling with a burden, you help her. You see the kids struggling with their backpack, you help them. Whatever you help, that's helping someone physically. So that's physical help. Helping someone with a burden, literally physical help. And if a person gets damaged physically, and he can stop that damage, he has to stop the damage. So ideally you got to stop the damage before it happens. Physical damage, you see someone, that's also helping someone physically. Number 2, financially. To help someone as much as you can. To keep away damages, the financial damages. And how much more so a person himself is going to keep away from damaging the person financially. So sometimes you don't really realize, we drive carelessly and we bang someone, and it's very hard to know. It's very hard to do this. And a classic example is driving and you knock someone's mirror, and you just continue. You don't need trouble with the police, you don't trouble with the person. Just keep on going. So a chassid will say, hey, I just heard a tinkle. Must be someone's mirror. We go check. Someone's mirror. I'm going to put a note on the car, give my phone number, and I'll pay for damages. Which really opens them up for a lawsuit, I don't know. It's pretty dangerous today to open yourself up. Or you can just put $100 over there on the windshield, and hopefully the guy will get it. And there's different ways of handling the situation. So it happened to my wife. Someone passed by, knocked her. They left a number. It happened to be a Jewish guy. Very honest guy. and he paid for the mirror. That's tzaddik. That's a chassid, not just tzaddik. Even though American law requires it, I think. I don't know. Probably does require it. So most people just ignore it. They just pretend they didn't. See, it's very easy to do that. Just ignore and just continue going. But that's a chassid. Chassid says, not only will I not do damage, I will pay for damages. I will stop damages. So number one is being careful not to hit someone, not to bang into someone. How a person walks, how a person looks around them, is aware of their surroundings. Not to push in a line. It's very hard getting on a bus in Israel. I don't know if you ever tried going on a bus in Israel. You can practically miss the bus if you don't push. Being on a bus. And the ironic thing is it's mainly at the Kotel. It's very hard to get on a bus at the Kotel. Whatever it is. There's no safe places. Whatever it is. But I'm just saying it's not easy to get on the bus. If you're not pushy, you don't get on. Very simple. You'll be last. You can be first in line and be last in the bus. So it used to be like that in the post office and in the banks, but it's much better now because it's all electronic now. Baruch Hashem, you can do it on your computer. You don't have to go to the bank. The bank's pretty empty today. And today they give out numbers. When I was a kid, the post office was crazy. I don't know if you've ever been to Israeli post office. 30 years ago, it was like a wild. If you don't push. So I was British. I was a kid. I was British. I was just standing over there. And everyone's screaming, shouting, 2 hours, what's going on over here? Look at me, said, you okay? Where are you from? Israeli, that's for sure. So, I don't know. What are you going to do? You just stand over there and wait. So what do you do? I don't know. But it's so dangerous. Because here you are, I just came from a holy experience at the Kotel. It's so dangerous, better take a taxi. Stand over there. You have to push in line. It's so hard. It's so hard to do the right thing. I'm telling you, it's so hard. It's the biggest test. It's a test. It's a massive test. Because you're just being spiritual. You just came from a holy place. And ironic that you have to push to get on the bus. It's ironic. It's horrible. It's better not to get involved. The truth is. But it's going to take the factor into account. Therefore, sometimes it's rush hour. Keep away from rush hour. So, rush hour, usually it's Mincha Arvit, towards the evening. A lot of people come, because after work, they might want to go to the Kotel. So either you miss the rush hour, or you take a cab. I don't know, it's very complicated. It's a big test. I'll tell you, these are small things, but big tests. Person says, I'm going to the Kotel. Mazel Tov, you're going to the Kotel, fantastic, it's a big mitzvah, it's fantastic. How are you coming back? Habas. Okay, maybe it's better you shouldn't go. I don't know. It's ironic, right? It's irony. It's irony. So a person can be careful not to damage someone, not to push someone, not to hurt someone. And you squish like sardines, and you take the driver's got to be careful not to hurt people. He takes the corner and people will fall. My father-in-law, he broke his hip on the bus. On the bus. He went shopping. The driver took a turn and they never gave him a seat. He was an old man. Boom. Broke his hip and that was the end of it. Never recovered. So the driver is going to be here, like the driver just recently, in the bus. He killed 6 people. Bus. He banged into the truck. So in Israel, they have to be careful. This should be taught. This is something very, very important. Chassidut. Piety is not piety in the air. Piety is physical piety, which means don't damage other people. It's so hard. It's very hard. Not to push on a bus in Israel. I don't know, I've never been on a bus over here. Maybe in Manhattan they have buses, but it's bad. Okay. So, same thing. So a person has to keep away from damaging other people, whether individuals, whether many people. And even in things which normally there's no damage. A person's got to be careful. Maybe there will be. It can come. So it's going to be careful not to do that and keep away from it. So, and that's what the rabbi said. Hazak Baruch, thank you. Someone else's money should be as dear to you as your own. Very important. So a person's got to be careful. This is Pirkei Avot, chapter 2, Mishnah 12. A person should be careful with other people's money. And that's part of Chassidut, believe it or not. So a tzaddik will say, listen, I don't damage people willingly. If it happens, it's not my fault. Couldn't help it. I need to get on the bus. No, not my fault. But a chassid will say, I'm going to keep away from these situations. A pious person will say, I'm going to keep away from these situations. I don't want any kind of physical liabilities over here. Even a little push, a little shove to get myself on the bus, I don't get involved with this. I'm going to keep far away. It's very hard. These things are very hard. How a person drives, it's very hard. A chassid drives a different way than a tzaddik. Right? A tzaddik, listen, I'm not going to cause damage. I know how I can drive. So I'll go in and out. And chassid will say, I'm not taking chances. I'm going to keep away from people. Give people plenty of room. Right? And it takes a lot of patience. Sometimes you've got to keep away from New York. And New Jersey is becoming very, very quickly New York. It's spilling over. The drivers are spilling over. And it's catchy. Once you see the other one doing there, you start doing yourself. Okay. So that's a chassid. A chassid goes the extra mile, literally, going the extra mile. Keep away from damaging other people. How does a person look after someone else's spirit? We said physically, a person's got to look after someone else physically, keep away from damaging them physically, keep away from damaging them financially, and keep away from damaging them spiritually. How does a person help someone spiritually? And the answer is, he said, look at this, to try and make someone happy. That's spiritual. People don't realize. You make someone happy, it's not physical. Happiness is not physical. Happiness is not financial. Happiness is you cheer them up. So a person cheers someone up. That's hasidut. That's piety in action, physical between man and man. Or man and woman. Just cheering someone up. And the best way to do that is smile. It's so hard. It's so hard. For me especially. Some people are very shy. It's very hard for them to, like wish someone in the morning cheerily, especially in the morning. Oh boy. Especially you got to wake up in the morning. It's hard to say, Boker Tov! I have a guy in our school. He's one of the rabbis over there. He's like such a cheerful guy. And he walks in and he makes everyone smile. He wishes everyone, Boker Tov, how are you? How's this? And some people say, we're waiting for you to come in and say Boker Tov. We can't wait for you to come in and say that. So, but it's a very big chesed. It's a very big kindness. And it's a very big, people don't realize it's spiritual. Why is it spiritual? Because it's not physical, it's not financial. It must be physical, must be spiritual, right? People don't realize that. People don't realize these things are spiritual. Cheering someone up is spiritual. That's, if you came just to hear that tonight, it's worth it. Spiritual, we don't think spiritual is Torah, mitzvot. No, spiritual is also nachat ruach. What's nachat ruach? Nachas. I shouldn't say nachas. Give your parents pleasure. You just help your parents spiritually. Nun, chet, taf. Nachat. Because they pronounce taf, saf. So nachat became nachas. Okay. It's okay. As long as you know what it means, okay. It's a nun, chet, taf. It's anyone. We say in our prayers, in L'Shem B'chud, Asot nachat ruach li'otzreinu. To give nachat to Hashem, our Creator. Isn't that amazing? When a person does a mitzvah, we're giving nachat to our Creator. Why? He created us. He wants us to do what He said to do, and we're doing it. Same thing with parents. Parents get nachat when the children do the right thing. Children follow in their footsteps, they do the right thing. Parents are very thrilled. They get spiritual pleasure. So we can give pleasure to our friends, which is a spiritual pleasure. We got to stress that. It's spiritual pleasure. What's spiritual pleasure? If it's not physical, it's not financial, it's spiritual. If you make someone happy, it's spiritual pleasure. You just give them spiritual pleasure. That's amazing. If you showed someone honor, spiritual pleasure. An old man walks in, you walk out, you stand up for them. It's very, very critical to give old people pleasure, honor. No, only over the age of 70, according to the halakha. You got to stand up. Lifnei sevat takum, stand up for an old person. So over 70 years old. That's a lot of people today. And the Arizal lowers it to 60. That's a lot of people. Truly, a lot of people today are over 60.
What about one's boss?
One's boss is he older than you? How old? 60s? You have to stand up for him. According to Arizal, you stand up. He walks in, you stand up. And treat him nicely. Elderly people should be treated nicely. Give them extra. So again, It doesn't have to be physical, it doesn't be financial, but spiritual. Treating someone nicely spiritual is spiritual. People don't realize that. Because you're making them happy inside, and that's good for their soul. You lifted their soul. By making someone happy, you lifted their soul. Someone put on a balloon. Let your spirit soar. Yeah. So let your spirit soar. You make someone else's spirit soar, you just did a spiritual mitzvah. It's not physical, it's not financial, it's spiritual. It's amazing. It doesn't get to olam haba just by being a joker, just by helping people cheer up. Or especially at weddings, making the bride and groom happy at the wedding. It's like, so what I do is not financial, it's not physical, it's spiritual. Similarly, kavod, giving honor, respect, honor to parents, honoring elderly people. How do you honor someone? So the Shulchan Aruch says, how do you honor your parents? You give them their food, you give them their clothing. They say, do my shopping. That's more physical, but again, you're giving them something which is a pleasure inside, internal pleasure. That's spiritual. So anything you can do which brings the person some pleasure, that's nachat ruach. It says explicitly, nachat ruach. You're giving someone pleasure, that's a very big mitzvah. They're happy inside. You cheer them up inside. Mitzvah chasidut hu lasato. It's a mitzvah chasidut. So in other words, there's no real mitzvah in the Torah to make someone cheerful. Find me. Okay, so I would like to be cheerful. I would like someone make me cheerful, so I got to make someone else cheerful. I don't know if he goes that far. He says doesn't. There's no mitzvah in the Torah to make someone cheerful. It's chasidut. To help someone, the chasidut of is to make them cheerful, even spiritually. Raise them up.
Rabbi, was it Rabbi Hillel or Rabbi Akiva that would always greet somebody with a smiling face?
That was actually Shammai.
Oh, sorry.
Shammai says, "Hevei mekabel et kol." He doesn't. I don't know if he did it, but he says to it, "Hevei mekabel et kol adam besever panim yafot." Person should always greet other people besever panim yafot. Sever means empathy. Panim is show your face. Yafot means to show a nice face.
Did he draw it from a reference of a soup or something?
It doesn't say Shneimar. Just manners. Derech Eretz. Derech Eretz kadma leTorah. The Midrash says, Derech Eretz came before the Torah. Well, this common decent behavior is a prerequisite to learning Torah. So now we're going on the extra mile. We're going even beyond Derech Eretz. We're saying, try your best to make other people happy. Internal feeling, not physical. It's not financial. And this is good for a teacher as well. It's very hard to be a good teacher. Very hard. What I'm just finding out is the more you smile, the better. Kids like being smiled at. And they react differently. And I walked into a class, and the kid put out their tongue at me. There's a little girl, she put out her tongue at me.
Oh my goodness.
No, I smiled back. I'm trying new tactics all the time. I smiled back at her. She's my best student now. I'm just saying, these things work. Smiling helps. The more you get aggravated, the more they get aggravated. I'm telling you, I'm just trying new philosophy now. It doesn't help to get tough. There's toughness. I was talking to another teacher, a very successful teacher. He says, those that start the year soft and become tough will fail. Those that start the year tough and then loosen up a bit, succeed. I don't know. I'm still experimenting. There's no hard and fast. Every kid is different. So that's it. You got to make the kid your helper. It's got to make each one is different, and then other kids get jealous. It's such a hard job, but it's amazing what you can achieve by smiling. It's amazing what you can achieve by smiling instead of fighting. It's like in the bank. You have some kind of question, and you get really tough with them. They don't like it. If you start smiling and say, "Please, can you help me? I really appreciate it very much." And some people are very good at it, and they can get whatever they want. Some people are excellent at it. They're like honey, and they can just achieve whatever they want just by smiling. You can't really argue with someone who's smiling all the time. You can't really get angry with someone who's really smiling all the time. And it says Rabbi Miller would practice his smile in the mirror. He'd practice his smile. Can you imagine a person practicing smiling so you can show your teeth? That's the bracha that Yaakov gave Yehuda, right? V'lovin shinai mechalav, that your teeth should be whiter than milk. The person should have white teeth. Why? So they can smile at other people and show their teeth. It's good to have a good dentist. If anyone needs a good dentist, I know someone who does cosmetic dentistry. Very, very good. He's actually the Egyptian guy, Haddad. He's on Eastern Avenue. Excellent guy. Very good. He's excellent. So this way a person will have a white smile. It's very important to have a white smile. And people like being smiled at. And as soon as you smile, they loosen up as well. They start smiling. You go like this, and they're going to start scouting you. It's like, exactly, that's what Shlomo Melech says. He says, like looking into the water. Your friend's face is like the water. He didn't say mirror, because then mirrors were not so common in those days. You look at the mirror, your face makes your friend look like you. If you're thinking why your friend is looking like that, it's because you're looking like that him. So we have to loosen up a bit. We have to smile. It's very important to smile, and even when you're strict, you can smile as well. A person should smile. This way, they know you love them. So it's very important to smile, and that lifts someone's spirits, and a person's getting credit for that. Can you imagine? Can't even imagine how much credit a person's getting for lifting someone else's spirits. It's amazing. Especially sometimes people have bad thoughts. And one cheerful person, it's a true story. I've heard this many times before. This story is famous. There was a mashgiach, and he was a very cheerful guy, and he used to be sent all over the world. This mashgiach was a mashgiach, OU, whatever it was. And he was very famous because he always greeted people cheerfully and smiling. And he would go to a plant, I think it was in Switzerland, check some kashrut. And there's a big plant, and he would greet everyone. Everyone knew him, and he was a jolly fellow, a very jolly person. And one day he got locked in a refrigerator. It's a true story. He got locked in the freezer. And it was towards the end of the day. It was near 5 o'clock. He's banging, no one's around. They're gone for the day, everyone's gone, and he's banging, he's going to die in this freezer. It's a true story. And the guard at the door comes and opens the door for him. I said, how do you know I was here? He says, I missed your greeting on the way out. I said, he did not leave. He didn't leave. He couldn't have left. He just said goodbye to me. He didn't leave. He must be inside somewhere. Let me go and find him. Saved him. Saved his life. So it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. Greet someone and smile at people, but that's a very important idea, and it's a spiritual idea. It's not a physical idea. People think, it's a big deal. What do I gain by smiling and greeting and being happy? And the answer is, you don't understand. You're lifting people's spirits. That's a tremendous mitzvah. Tremendous mitzvah. If you go to a nice way, so they don't get offended. Don't let people get. People are very strange sometimes, You got to watch it. So a person's going to do it in good taste. So mitzvat chasidut la'asoto. It's a mitzvah, a piety to do this. Give other people pleasure, that's spiritual pleasure. We don't realize it's spiritual because it's not physical, it's not financial. What is it? It's spiritual. How much more so not to cause any pain? It's very hard for a man not to cause pain to his wife. It's very, very hard. A woman's tears are ready. She's like a tap. The tap keeps on coming on, A woman cries a lot. Men don't cry as much, Baruch Hashem. But women, it's very dangerous for a husband to make his wife cry. People don't realize it's very dangerous for his life, even. So it's very important to be nice to your wife, and nice to your spouse. Maybe I'll make that general. It's important to be nice to your spouse, because you lift their spirits, they can lift your spirits. If you're going to make them depressed, they're going to become depressed, and you're going to be depressed, don't worry. So it's a very important idea, is lift your and that's something to practice on. Who do we practice on? We practice on our own families. The main thing is to practice on your own family. So you go home and smile. And then everyone in the house relaxes. Right? If both spouses are smiling at each other, the children are relaxed. The parents are fighting, boy, the children are happy. They're very happy. And I see it in school. They come out, they react. In the school they react. It's horrible. So when people shouldn't think, I'm doing this at home and no one's going to know. Yeah, but if you have kids, everyone's going to know. Because they'll see how the kids behave in school. Tragic. Again, I'll tell you, I have a kid in my school whose father's in jail. And the kid is a disaster. So today I tried smiling at him and patting him on the head and saying, you're so good, you're fantastic. It's the first day he cooperated. You can ruin someone's life, and you can make someone's life. It's amazing. You just have to find the key to motivate someone, and the best key is to be nice to them and sweet to them. And the more you try, we tried everything with this kid. Get out, punishment doesn't help. The poor kid has no father. He's a wreck because father's, there's no father at home, and he's a tough guy. That's the worst combination. The boys need fathers around. If they don't have fathers around, they fall apart. It's like they go berserk. So it's a disaster. So, huh?
Why they need fathers?
Because they need a strong father figure around to be a role model. They need a role model. A boy needs a role model. A mother cannot be a role model for a boy. It's very hard. They need a male figure, especially the tough kids. They need male figures around. And I had a son like that. He would drive my wife nuts. So the best thing to do is take him with me. And he was so happy. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be with me. He didn't want to be with her. So it takes a while for the penny to sink in, unfortunately. So I'll give you my experience. If you have a tough son who troubles your wife, the key is take him with you. As much as you can. Take him out of the house. And he'll be happy, and your wife will definitely be happy. So, and same thing with girls. If the girls don't want to hang, some girls like they hang around their father. But a lot of girls want to be around the mother. So the mother's not in the house, they're going crazy. So we have to realize that. And the school has to realize what's going on at home. And the teachers have to have some kind of sympathy and raise the spirits of the kid. And that's a big mitzvah. It's a tremendous mitzvah we're seeing over here. But it's just hard to do because one kid can upset the whole class. So the best alternative is to throw the kid out. But it doesn't really help the kid. Definitely doesn't help the kid. I tell you, it's a miracle what you can do with a smile. It's a miracle what you can do with a smile. Amazing what you can do with a smile. Just being nice to someone. It's and kids appreciate it. There's a book I was reading just yesterday. There's a book on the table. It's interesting when you can find these books on the table. Just you read a book on the table. There's a amazing story about a kid who misbehaved in cheder. In those days they would whack them. So the master went berserk. He took a metal ruler and whacked him and cut him. It's a horrible disaster. He went home with his hands in his pocket. He was crying and shattered for 3 weeks. The physical pain went away after 3 weeks. He said, emotionally killed me, destroyed me, this ruined me. But despite that, he was a very successful piano player. What is it called?
Pianist.
Huh?
Pianist.
Not pianist, but he had his organ. Okay, and he would go to all the bar mitzvahs, weddings, $300 a night, $400 a night. One day, this guy calls him and says, "I have a bar mitzvah. Can you play for me?" He knew it was. God, he couldn't believe his ears. This guy called him to play it. He didn't want to play for him, but he says, "Okay, he raised the price." In his head, he didn't say double the price. Okay, $600. That's a lot. Take it or leave it. Didn't expect him to take it. They want him to take it. I said, "Okay, $600." Paid $600. He had a lot of family, this guy. A lot of kids. A lot of weddings. A lot of bar mitzvahs. A lot of things. Calls him again. And again. $600. $600. $600. So eventually the guy felt his anger's gone away. He doesn't hate the guy anymore. He felt he paid him back now. $600. So the next time he says, the guy calls, he says, "I want you to play for my this." He says, "Let me think about the price." He said, "Listen, you never raised your price on me. So you're one of the few people who never raised their prices on me. You weren't going to raise the price. His price was already double the price." So he says, "The truth is I want half the price." He felt the anger go away, so he half the price. Went back to a normal price. And then the guy comes to him and asks for mechila. "I'm sorry for what I did to you. I realize now that you're not as mad as you were before. I didn't realize what happened. Someone told me the story." So these things we do a lot of things and we don't really understand what we're doing. We can destroy people. And sometimes later on they come to us and say, "You destroyed me. I hate your guts. I'll never forgive you." It's a horrible thing. So we have to be very careful of people's feelings.
I had the wrong.
It's so hard. It's so
I had
hard.
the wrong pair of glasses on. I was in a public place. I came within a second of missing somebody who was waving to me.
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
It's true.
It was reading glasses,
Yeah.
and
I agree with you.
and he was too far away for reading glasses, so it was really fuzzy. But I thought I saw, and I hadn't seen him in a while. I didn't quite recognize.
These are small things that are big things. And that's
Well,
only.
just in the nick of time, I took off my glasses.
You're right. 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
I agreed him.
That's my problem, because if I take off my glasses, I can't see really. I really can't see much. I don't like walking around, but sometimes I do miss people. So the Chazon Ish says most rabbis in Israel would take off their glasses walking on the street. He would wear glasses to walk on the street, just in case of your issue. Someone waves at me and I miss them. Even though I'm seeing all this garbage around me, I don't want to miss one guy who waves at me. Well, the rabbi always takes off his glove to shake someone's hand, not to leave his glove on and shake hands. It's like, these are small things with big things. These small things are big things. And that's what we're talking about over here. That's Hasidut. There's no halakha that says you have to take your glove to shake someone's hand. It's Hasidut. There's no halakha that says you have to wear glasses in case someone misses you and gets upset. It's not halakha. It's Hasidut. That's what we're talking about. Piety between people. So this is spiritual piety. This piety and the piety between people, which is not financial. It's not physical. It's spiritual. That's amazing. I'm glad this is a very important topic. Yeah.
Jewish tradition, where does all this
Shkonovo. Right here. Mesilat Yesharim, chapter 19.
But from
where?
He quotes
Yeah.
Pirkei Avot. Pirkei Avot says, let your friend's money be as dear to you as your own. But the Nachat Ruach, he says, all these are part of Gimilut Hasadim, and Gimilut Hasadim, which is acts of kindness, all come from V'afta l'reacha kamocha. One pasuk, but it's not spelled out. Not spelled out. So how far do you take this verse? And the answer is, a tzaddik will take the verse this much. A chassid will take the verse this much. That's what we're talking about. We're going to the higher level of V'afta l'reacha kamocha. And he answers your question. This is the next thing. He says, the rule is based on giving kindness. And we know the Mishnah Peah says, all these things have no quantity. What are the things? Gimilut Hasadim is one of them. Achnasat Orchim is one of them. That's all part of Gimilut Hasadim. There's no quantity. You have 5 guests or 10 guests. No quantity. You can fill your obligation 1 guest, 2 guests, 3 guests. You have a guy in Muncie, he has 80 guests. I don't know how many he has. Rabbi Klatzko in Muncie. Right? Shabbat.com. He has, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how his wife does it. She's cooking all week. All the week she's cooking. Literally, she's cooking all week. My daughter was just there, a school trip. It's inspirational for a girl to go to her house and see this woman cooking all through the week. And she has cots and cots downstairs, all stuck. I don't know how. I don't think it's legal. That's a different issue. I'm not talking about legal in the legal sense, I'm talking about in Jewish sense even. To put men to sleep, or women even to sleep so close together each other. I don't know if it's good. But what can they do? They want to do the mitzvah Nasarachim, they pack them in. But then you gotta weigh these things together. You can't just pack people in. You gotta weigh. It's dangerous, I think, today. Anyway. So, all this is this is the answer to your question, it's part of V'afta l'reacha kamocha, which is the heading for, Rambam says, Gimilut Hasadim. And that Rambam is very hard to find. That Rambam is in the laws of Avilut, of mourning. Where does Rambam talk about V'afta l'reacha kamocha and the laws of mourning? Why? Because comforting mourners is part of V'afta l'reacha kamocha. And he brings down everything else over there. Comforting mourners is part of Gimilut Hasadim. It's probably one of the highest levels of Gimilut Hasadim. And the highest level is burying the dead. Next level, comforting mourners. Next level is making husband and wife happy. There's different levels of Gimilut Hasadim. So included in this, all this is under the rubric of Gimilut Hasadim. The rabbis exaggerated their praises and obligation of Gimilut Hasadim. The rabbi said, go the extra mile to do kindness to people. Bichlal zeh redifat shalom. And included in this is chasing after peace. Making peace between people, which is Aaron HaKohen, and that's how he's worthy for the Kehunah, even though he made the golden calf. It's wild. Think about it. Wild. Who would make Aaron HaKohen the priest this week's parasha? He does one of the biggest sins in the Torah, which nearly caused the whole Jewish people to be obliterated. And yet he becomes the high priest. Wild. Why? Because he was easygoing. He made peace between people. That's the job of the high priest. It's such a hard thing to make peace between people. It's such a hard thing to make peace between people. Such a hard thing to make peace between ourselves and others. To get peace between people. And that is the highest level. Tell me, look at this. Chasing after peace. So someone will make peace with you, you chase after them to make peace. I'm sorry, forgive me. Please forgive me. I want to be friends. I want to make peace. I want to make peace. I want to make peace. So even if they don't respond, you want to make peace. Gadol Shalom. Great is peace. What do you mean great is peace? To be the initiator of peace. Great is a person who's initiating. So we have to initiate, like in a husband and wife situation, they're both mad with each other, someone has to initiate, to break the ice. And it happens in families. So you be the initiator, you be the Gadol Shalom. That's a very big mitzvah of Redifat Shalom. Running, chasing after peace.
So all those things are in that.
Gimilut Hasadim, which is Avat Ve'aftar Ve'achavacha. All.
They're all in that.
One line.
paragraph, actually.
One line.
Elu Barim.
Yeah, the
They're all
Shir.
there.
Yeah. But a lot of them are, payah. Payah is an obligation to pay to give it to the poor. Has no quantity. But again, it's part of Gimilut Hasadim, giving to the poor. Is Gimilut Hasadim. Because Gimilut Hasadim is something, that's why there's no bracha. One opinion is there's no bracha on these things. Why? There's no limits. Honoring parents, no limits. You can do as much as you want. You can do as little as you want. Because if the parents are not really pushy, you can get away with everything. They never ask you, never bother you. No limit, you don't. What do you have to do to honor them? Call them once in a while. I like my kids to call me once a week. Far away. I like to hear them once a week. So they call once a week. They're a mitzvah of honoring parents. Call once a week. I'm not a big talker, so even a 2-minute conversation is good. It's not a lot to ask for. But I'm saying, so it depends on the parents. But some kids say, no, I want to do extra. I'll go the extra mile. I'll call every day. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. How are you doing? How's everything? Especially when parents get older. It's very, very important. So that's going the extra mile. Parents say, don't bother, you don't have to trouble me every day. No, I want to call you. I want to talk to you. I want to see if you need anything. I want to, So all these same thing in Bikur Halim. There's no limits. You can go once a week, go once a month. But this, the rabbis would praise someone who would run after peace. And that's one of the biggest levels, right? What does it say? Ben Adam lechavero, ben ish leishto. They're making peace between Adam lechavero, ben ish leishto. The Talmud Torah keneged kulam. So that seems to be the caveat. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Why? Because Talmud Torah brings to these things. Without learning this, wouldn't do it. This is Talmud Torah, which brings to action of Gimilut Hasadim, of peace. That's why it says, Talmidei Chachamim Rabim Shalom Ba'olam. Why? If the rabbis talk about these things, they're bringing peace into the world by talking about these things and extending these things. Now I'm going to bring you proofs for all these things from the rabbis. Yeah, you're not happy with this? Not enough. Say Gimilut Hasadim. I'm going to bring you proofs for these things. So you see that many people ask the Ramchal this question. Where are you getting all these things from? No one ever talked about these things. Where are you getting them? You're making it up, Rabbi. No, don't worry. Number one is it's Gimilut Hasadim. That's number one. That's a big heading. We have to Reach Amocha. Number two, I'll bring you proofs. It's a Gemara in Megillah Kaf Zayin. Shalu Talmidav at Rabbi Zakkai. The students asked Rabbi Zakkai. This is probably the father of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. So they asked Rabbi Zakkai, why did you live so long? It's a beautiful Gemara which discusses many different rabbis. They asked them, why did you live so long? So each rabbi gives reasons why they live so long. Now this is a weird Gemara. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. One of the things he says, Lo kaniti shem lechaveri. I never called my friend a name, a nickname, which he didn't like. I never changed my friend's name. So he didn't like it, I never called it. Never changed his name. His name was this, I called him this. It's a small thing, right? But you know what? We all make fun, especially kids, make fun of people. Fatso, what else? 3 examples. Speedy, I know. I had a teacher who would call people nicknames. This guy's Speedy, this guy's Red, this guy's this guy that. So can you imagine, he learned this Gemara. Another example of Chassidut. It says, in my lifetime, he says, I never avoided saying Kiddush on Shabbat morning. I never missed a Kiddush on Shabbat morning. My mother was old, and once she even sold her head covering to buy wine for Kiddush on Shabbat morning. Obviously, they're very poor. So in those days, they had 2 head coverings. One which is for indoor use, and one for outdoor use. The indoor use, there's no real, it's a chumrah. A woman doesn't have to cover her hair when there's no one around. In her own house, she can uncover her hair. And even though there's people walking around, it's Reshut HaYachid. It's not Reshut HaRabbi. It's not a courtyard. The courtyard, she should cover her hair with a lesser head covering, and then in the street, a higher level cover. So she didn't really have to wear a covering inside her house, so she sold it to buy wine for Kiddush. Look at the Chassid. She was a Chassid. So he was so careful with mitzvot. I never missed this mitzvah, which is a rabbinical mitzvah, making Kiddush on Shabbat morning. And I could have done it on whiskey, I could have done it on vodka, but no, it has to be a wine. She sold her head covering to buy this wine. Amazing. So he didn't really have to do the mitzvah. He didn't have money. No, she sold her head covering. So that's Hasidut. She's going the extra mile. And honoring his friend. I never changed the name. Even though it's not a name which is disgraceful. That's Hasidut. So to change it to a name which is disgraceful, the Rama is very tough. He says, Ein lo chelek le'olam haba. But you can lose the olam haba by making a mockery of someone. Oh, yeah. We should keep away from mocking people. It's so hard not to mock people. I've got to work on myself, really. I get very upset with people. The way people drive sometimes. Can't use any words. No. Kinuyim. Oh boy, that's hard. What I say? Stupid guy. I don't know. Is that good to say? So some people say, God bless him. God bless him. He cut me off. God bless him. Oh, that's a very high level. That's a very high level. It's better to say, God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us. You know? Bless him and keep him far away from me. Bless him and keep him far away from me. It's very high level. It's got something we got to work on this. I'm going to work on this. Believe me. It's Hasidut. That's what we're talking about. Not to use any names which are disgraceful, even though he doesn't know. He didn't even hear me. He's not even here. He's far away right now. It's gone. But it's for me. It's lowering my level by using these names. Even though it's not a swear word, it's not a four-letter word, Baruch Hashem. But even though you call someone stupid, idiot, you say something like that. It's lowering your level. Why should I say those epithets? And that's what he's saying. Imagine, Rav Zakkai says in my life, that's why he attributed his old age to. Imagine, I got this age because I never used adjectives to describe people. He doesn't say people were there listening. Yes, I never used it. Which means even between him and himself. Idiot. You say under your breath, cut me off. Idiot, he's an idiot, or whatever, stupid. It's so hard not to do these things. We have to be careful. Try and work on it. Harezeh Chasidut. This is Chasidut. That's piety. Now we come to the next part of the Gemara over there. So all these things are Chasidut. How do these guys reach old age? It seems like piety adds to your age. Because basically what happens is a person has a fixed date. Dr. Abu used to say, everyone's born with the expiry date over here. We'll have an expiry date. But that's if you're a tzaddik. Because then God judges you according to what you did, right? So you kept the law, the letter of the law. I said, okay, I'll keep the letter of my date. But if you're a chassid and you keep beyond that, I'll give you extra years. That's what it seems. These people are chassidim and Hashem gave them extra years. But what were they busy doing? Shalut Hamidah Rabbi Eliezer ben Shamua. The students asked Rabbi Eliezer ben Shamua, how do you get to a long life? He said, in my whole life, lo asiti kampandri ala bet knesset. I never used the synagogue as a shortcut. So I guess some synagogues have two doors. So this door's on this street, and this door's on this street. So you go right through, and you cut right through. There's one which really, and I remember I was growing up or whatever, I was in yeshiva in Yerushalayim, and it really was a synagogue between two streets. And there really was literally, if you want a shortcut, you go right through. So tempting. So tempting because then you have to go all the way around. Here it is, right here, just walk right through it. No. So he said, no, I never used the synagogue as a shortcut. In my life, never used the synagogue. Number two, the students were sitting on the floor in those days. And the rabbi comes in and he has to walk in So he has two choices: either go around them, or go directly to his place, which is he jumps over the heads. In my life, I never walked over people's heads. Can you imagine? That means other rabbis did. His saying, I deserve long life because I never did this in my life. I never walked over the kids' heads. I never walked over my students' heads. So he said, number one, this is Chassidut in the honor of the synagogue. Because the truth is, you can't use the synagogue as a shortcut as long as you say a pasuk. Or you sit down for 2 seconds. Thank you, bye. So he could have done it. He said, I never did it. I never even used a pasuk. I never did anything. I never went from one door through right through the other side. I always came out the same side. Number two is, the rabbi could jump over people to get to his place. Shortcut. He doesn't have to go all the way around. He never did in his life. So that's kavod habriot. He was a chassid when it came to people's honor. He didn't want to show like he's better than them. He's jumping over their heads. So, odd. Next case. So you can imagine, all this is one Gemara he's bringing us, how these rabbis live. It's amazing. Long life is associated with chassidut. That's going the extra mile in honoring other people. That's what it seems. Honoring the mitzvot. Honoring other people. You go the extra mile, Hashem says, I'll give you an extra mile as well. Amazing. It's an amazing concept. Furthermore, Shalu Tamidah Rabbi Nechunya. The students asked Rabbi Nechunya, how do you get too old? How do you get so old? Amar lehem. Biyamai lo lichabati bikalon chaveri. I never had honor from my friend's shame. Sometimes people get ashamed. They get embarrassed. And everyone starts laughing at them. This guy tried to avoid the situation. I walked out, closed his eyes, so he wouldn't be enjoying. You know, sometimes you see another person get into trouble and say, oh, I'm so happy he's got in trouble. He deserves it. I'm such a good guy. Look, he got it. Suppose he gets hana, he gets benefit from this. No. I said, my friend is ashamed. I'm keeping out of this. I'm not getting any kind of joy out of this. It's such a high level. Lo altal mitati klalat chaverai. Okay, I never, the curse of my friend never went to my bed. I didn't pay attention to any curses. I didn't get angry. Didn't get upset. I never cursed him back. So tempting, right? The guy curses you, curse him back. It's human nature. Nothing. I forgave and I forgot as soon as I got to sleep. In other words, I never went to sleep with other people's problems in my head. I never had any feelings of, I'll pay that guy back, revenge and vengeance.
That's part of appeal.
Exactly. Part of the bracha before going to sleep. There's a section over there. You say, I'm mochel, soleh, chomi. And that's the best way to go to sleep, and that will really increase your life. If the person has other people's things in their head, they won't sleep. Can't sleep at night. Why can't they sleep at night? Because this guy got to them inside. And the best thing to do for her is to be innocent. Sleep like a baby. Just forgive and forget, and don't even let anything worry you. And that's the best way to sleep. So he wouldn't let other people's curses go into his subconscious when he was sleeping. Okay, now we come to another story. I'm the Gemara over there. Rav Huna was a great rabbi. He had a burden on his back. So another rabbi came. Rav Chana bar Hanilai came. And he took it off his back and put it on his own back. And he said to him, if you're used to carrying burdens on your back in your place, okay, I allow you to do it. If not, I will not let you do it for me. In other words, why should you? People see you. You don't normally walk around with a burden in your back. And people say, hey, look at the rabbi's burden. They make a mockery of him. So why should you burden yourself at my expense? Why should you cause yourself to be made mockery of at my expense? I'm not going to. But if you normally walk around with that, people are not going to make a mockery of you. Okay, I'll let you. So in other words, he's getting pleasure from his friend's disgrace. What do you mean pleasure? Not pleasure, but he's getting something, benefit out of his friend's disgrace. His friend is carrying a burden, people are going to make a mockery of him, and his friend helped him by taking the burden off his back, so he's getting he's getting a benefit from his friend's disgrace. So that's a chassid. The guy volunteered. It's not my fault. He volunteered. He wanted to help me. He carried it on his back. So they made a mockery. It's not my fault. Right? No. Chassid. You should be a Chassid. And that's how he got long life. You would never have any benefit at someone else's expense. It's hard. This is hard. This is hard stuff. This is heavy stuff. This is extra. All this is extra credit. But it shows that he lived a long life. You give extra credit, Hashem gives you extra credit. Amazing, huh? Pays back. It's payback in this world as well. Rabbi Zera says, all my life, I never got upset in my house. This guy's a saint. This is a Jewish saint over here. He never got upset in his house. Where do most people get upset? In their houses. Most people don't get upset at work because you'll get fired. It's ironic, right? So you'll take it out inside your house where no one can get back at you. And especially in those days where there's no wife abuse, no kid abuse, and the father was really in a mad temper, he could take it out on everyone. Wow, it's horrible. He could be a lunatic in his house. Those were days, horrible days. Those were terrible days.
Some people still are.
Yeah, but then they call the cops, and they get them arrested, and whatever. Not so easy today. All my life, I never got angry in my house. I never walked in front of someone who was greater than me. That's hard. I never thought about Torah in streets which are dirty. I never walked for 6 feet without Torah and Tefillin.
That is hard.
Lo yashanti beit midrash. I never slept in the shul. Neither temporary sleeping or permanent sleeping. I was not happy when my friend fell. And I never called my friends by his nicknames. So again, these are all Hasidut. So, he never walked 6 feet without Torah, but if there was a dirty place, he wouldn't learn Torah. Now that's not Hasidut, that's halakha. But not going 6 feet without Torah, that's Hasidut. Furthermore, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, a person who wants to be a Hasid should fulfill brachot. Be very careful when you say brachot. That's between man and God. And the next opinion says, some people say, he said, fulfill the laws of damages. So 2 opinions of what Rabbi Yehuda said. Number 1 is, make sure when you say a bracha, say it properly. I think I talked about this one Shabbat. Anyone remember?
Many times you spoke about this.
No, but this is Rabbi Yehuda, about 3 things he said. These are 3 things he said. Number 1 is, be careful about brachot. What's brachot? Between man and God. Number 2 is damages. That's between man and man. Number 3 is, be careful with the words in Pirkei Avot. That's man in themselves, growing spiritually. And that, he says, includes all the types of Hasidut. Between man and God, man and man in themselves. Spiritual growth. However, he says, the main aspect of Hasidut is, guess. What is the base of the word Hasidut? Chesed. The main aspect of Hasidut piety is Chesed. How's Noach in the Teva? Chesed. Olam Chesed Yibareh. The whole world, the new world is based on Chesed. Noach did Chesed in the ark. That was his secret of survival. Terrible. I understand his Chesed. How can you do Chesed to the animals? Non-stop. Servant, slave of the animals. Chesed to the animals. Ki Chasidut atzmo nigzar mechesed. The word Chasidut comes from the root Chesed. And the rabbis say on 3 things the world rests, and one of them is Chesed. Okay, I'm going to stop here because it's 9 o'clock. So that's. Oh, this is heavy duty, huh? This is Chasidut, but it's a practical Chasidut. People don't associate Chasidut with Chesed. Chasidut between man and God. You're right. Chasidut between man and man. You're right. Chasidut between spiritual parts of man, the physical part of man, the financial part of man, and the spiritual side of man. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you for coming.